A lot of people get premature rigor mortis, not physically, though sometimes, emotionally, creatively, spiritually, like the proverbial frog in the gradually heating water. They slowly die without realizing it. In this video, also known as the cult of meh, I'm going to show you how and why smart people slowly numb out. Avoidance becomes a loss of aliveness, and most importantly, how to reverse that, how to refire and create freedom, love, and vibrancy. The cult of meh. What does that mean? Well, here's how it came about. Many years ago, when I first started, 30 plus years ago, when I first got into the business of helping people be more alive, before I had a center called Radiantly Alive, I thought, the website, I need a website, company name, The Art of Vibrant Living. And here's the thing. Vibrant living, you might think, okay, the opposite of vibrant living is death. The opposite of vibrant living is numbness, premature rigor mortis, and I describe it as the cult of meh. What does it mean? It means, how's it going? A few days ago, I was walking the dog on the beach, and first time I'd been to this particular beach in years. And as I was walking, I saw a woman I'd known there years ago, and her dog and my dog, they like to play together. So we have walked together sometimes and chat. Really lovely woman. And she says, what are you up to? Where you been? So I give her a tidbit. And then I say, how about you? What's alive? By the way, it never works well to say, how have you been? Why ask that question? How have you been? Does it matter? How have I been? Well, I've been happy. I've been sad. I've been lonely. I've been tired. I've been energized. We've been all things in the past. How are you now? So I said to her, what's alive for you now? I said it in a more normal way. What's alive for you now? She's like, same old. It's shocking. And it will be for you too, now that you pay attention to this. How many people, if you say, what's up? How's it going? What's new? Nothing. Same old. There's a beautiful line from a John Prine song. And I think of it in the voice of Bonnie Raitt because they did a duet. And the line goes like this. Better I don't sing it. I'll speak it. How the hell can a person go to work in the morning and come home in the evening and have nothing to say? Go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, and have nothing to say. Well, how does it work? It's because they're living in the cult of meh. They have become a zombie. So the cult of meh, it's a plague. It's a disease. And I'm so energized about this because so many people in the world have a beautiful aliveness inside them that's not coming out. And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you what we can do about it, what you can do about it. The story of the frog, right? It's almost a cliche in personal and spiritual development circles. It's like this. You take a frog, and by the way, I'm a complete pacifist. I've been a vegetarian for like 400 years, so I wouldn't do this, and I don't want you to do it. You take a frog. You don't take a frog. The story goes, a frog, put it in a pot of boiling water. What does it do? It jumps out. It's really hot. Let me out of here. Take the same frog and put it in a pot of water at room temperature and slowly heat it up. What does the frog do? Nothing. And then it dies because we get used to it. We get used to the way things are. Some years ago, I realized that I am trigger happy. Okay, I already told you I'm a pacifist. So not in that sense, right? Not with guns. I know it might be a sensitive topic these days. I mean trigger happy as in the triggers, the things that trigger us. I love when I'm triggered. I love hate. I hate love. What I mean is when I am triggered. Okay, so let me make it super clear. What does it mean when someone says I'm triggered? That means something happened. Somebody spoke in a certain way. Somebody did something. Something goes on in the political world. Traffic is bad, whatever. Something happens in the external world that is a trigger for something inside me, and I don't feel good anymore. I get angry or sad, upset, what in some way. Well, and come to think of it, a trigger doesn't have to be negative, right? Something happens all the time. I saw two birds hopping along the beach this morning, and they were just hopping in this little funny way. And I saw that, and it triggered joy in me. Was the joy in the birds? Is the aggravation in the traffic? No, those are just cars moving. All of our emotion is inside us. However, it's become popular in culture these days to say, I'm triggered by that with the subtext, so don't do it. Avoid it. Stop it from happening. So I'm not a masochist. I don't want to feel upset, to feel bad. However, I'm also aware that that's part of life. That's part of how, that's somebody, Byron Katie had this great thing. She said once, life on earth is great once you know the rules, right? People do things. Traffic happens. That's life on earth. Argue against reality and you suffer. So when I'm triggered, I know that there's something unpleasant that I'm finding in myself. That situation triggered something in me, and it's risen, it's rised, it's up at the surface, and that means I have an opportunity. I have an opportunity to feel it, to figure out what's underneath it, because what's on the other side of it is more freedom, love, and vibrancy. Here's how it works. We don't like to feel bad. Do you? How many of you would say, oh yeah, I really love it when I'm angry? Well, some people do actually like that. But how many, and it's better than being depressed, right? On the scale of yucky feeling all the way up. Sure, I'll take anger over depression, even though it can have some negative impact for other people. Nobody's walking around like, I want to feel bad, except that we've got stuff inside us that we didn't feel at some time in our past that needs to come to the surface so we can feel it, understand it, let it go. Okay, the same woman. We're walking, and I teased out a bit from her, like, well, what'd you do yesterday? Where were you last week? Who have you seen? Where have you been? And we're chatting a little bit more, and her dog just occurred to me. It's because I was with a friend earlier. I was playing with the dog I'm taking care of and a friend's dog, and they were hanging out together and having a great time. And I said to her, have you ever thought about getting a friend, a companion for your dog? She said, well, yeah, I thought about it, but I don't think she would like it. I go, okay. Some years ago, she continued, a friend came to visit and had a dog. And she, meaning her dog, the woman I'm speaking with, she didn't like that. Like first couple of weeks, it wasn't like they weren't fighting, but I don't think she really liked it. Okay. And then she continued, in retrospect, I think she would have gotten past it. Da-na. In retrospect, I think she would have gotten past it. What does that mean for us? Well, the thing that comes up that we don't want to feel, we can get past it if we're willing. Let's make sure this is super clear. How do you know if you're triggered? And I mean that in a very genuine, and maybe it's obvious for you. Maybe you're like, yeah, dude, I know when I'm triggered. I know for me, when I was in my 20s and was having a lot of challenge in the relationship, I was living with a woman then. She asked me a question one day. She was upset. She said, Daniel, does it even matter to you that we're together? And so my strategic mind kicked off right then. I went into programming. I was like, well, of course it does. What are you talking about? Of course. Like, I didn't want to be upsetting to her. So I thought I'll tell her what she wants to hear. The truth of it, though, I was aware of and really confronted me a little while later is, I don't know. The confrontation for myself with that is, how is it possible that I don't know something that important? I'm making a life with this woman. We live together. Does it even matter to me? So I started therapy right away. And my first therapy session, I left it with I was almost going to say mimeograph. What is it? I don't even know what a mimeograph is. With a piece of paper printed with emotions, the names of emotions. And my new therapist said, Daniel, take this and put it up on the refrigerator. And happy, sad, glad. Happy is glad, sad, angry, right? And it went on, right? Some say there are 4 basic, some say there are 5 basic, and all the rest are variations. There are a lot of us that don't really know that much about it. So triggered means that I feel something like anger, sadness, shame, right? I can also recognize it for myself when I say something sarcastic or think something sarcastic. Like, oh, wait, I'm kind of like joking about it, but I'm lashing out in some way. What's going on? Such a good question. I journal every morning. And one of my favorite parts of journaling, such an incredible practice, is when I sense I'm feeling something. Sometimes I don't really know what it is. Like, what is that? Why was I kind of lashing out at so-and-so yesterday? What's going on there? So what is it? What is this? What am I feeling? What's underneath this? These kind of questions. Whenever we're not feeling great, guaranteed we're triggered. So what do? We ask, we look at it like, what's going on? And here's the beauty of it. We don't have to be afraid of it. Now, there's a reason we didn't feel that thing in the first place. And because at that point in our past, and oftentimes it's from childhood, we didn't have the resources to know what to do with it. So we said, oh, I don't want to feel that. I'm going to put that down here. Good survival strategy, not a great thrival strategy. And so the woman on the beach, who I'm using as an avatar for this discussion, they're everywhere in life. And we all have it to some degree. Right? Nobody is as alive as they could be. But yet a lot of people are zombieing out through life. It's okay. Nothing to say. All the same, can't complain. Mediocre monotony. So the great news, though, is that it's okay. We can feel these things. Right? So if I recognize that, I have some anger there. I'm upset because, so-and-so said something yesterday and it hurt my feeling. I felt hurt. I feel sad. I feel shame. I can feel that. And here's what happens. Leonard Cohen's song, such a beautiful, powerful song, iconic. There's a crack in everything. Are you happy? I'm not singing this one also. There's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. For so much of my life, I tried to be polished, clean, nothing wrong, no problems, present a face of, I got it all together. The truth is, though, we've all got this. And the crack is the moment of awareness when we say, oh, I'm triggered. Okay, cool. I'm triggered. Something from out there is coming into me. That's a crack. Ooh. And I allow that in. And I started thinking about this a lot last week. A coach of mine said to me, with your writing, what does it do? You know, he's helping me to get more clear on it. What does the writing do? Like, oh, it transforms people. Okay, let's go a little deeper. And then as I thought more about it and felt into it, here's what I aim for with my writing, that it is a crack, or it creates an experience for the reader such that their outer shell can melt so that they can feel something. It's like fruit ripening that allows the outer shell to soften so that then what's inside them that might resonate with what I've written can rise to the surface, can come up. I love it when what I've written, and I love it when I read something or hear something, when I feel more than I felt before. Because isn't that the definition of life? It's feeling. And I'm being provocative and silly in some way about premature rigor mortis, right? Stiffening, and it does happen physically, right? And I see some people who've been on the planet for 60, 70, 80 years, and they're tight, they're contracted physically, right? Or stooped over. See other people been on the planet 60, 70, 80 years, and they're loose and free, and they're glowing. What's the difference? It's not the number of years. Rigor mortis means a freezing, a dying. It happens in the body. That's obvious. It doesn't have to happen emotionally, creatively, spiritually either. All right, I got one more story for you. The Golden Buddha. True story. A long time ago in Thailand, a group of monks created a phenomenal work of art, a solid gold Buddha. And I mean big. I forget how many feet. I think it's like 12 feet high. I mean, and the street value, the gold value of it, phenomenal. Like, I don't know them, millions and millions and millions. Time passed, and there was an invasion of a foreign army. I think it was the Chinese army was coming through Thailand, and they were not only killing lots of people, they were specifically wanting to undermine the culture. And one of the ways of doing that is to destroy its religion, its spiritual life. And so these monks were afraid, anticipating this, and they were afraid that, of course, they're going to see the dollar value of this, or the yen value of this golden Buddha. So what did they do? They covered it over in clay. So it would just look like, oh, another Buddhist thing over there. Okay. So they covered it all over in clay. Then, sure enough, the army came through and they killed everybody. Killed all of those monks. Nobody survived. Time passed. Generations passed. The golden Buddha was still covered by clay until one day, it's been a long time since I've told the story. I think it was 1957. There was a development in this area in Thailand, moving some things around for a new highway to come through. And so they had to move the Buddha. And so these monks are doing this whole process and trying to figure out how to move it. And why is it so heavy? And so they're working on it, trying to prop it up and, wedge it and leverage on it. And then in the midst of the preparations for this, huge monsoon comes through. So they cover the whole thing up in tarps, right? Because it's uncovered and everything. And then one of the monks at night kind of is going around checking on things and a flashlight, and he's walking around and he looks and shines the flashlight in, and it glints back, right? It flashes at him. And he's like, what's that? What's in there that's reflecting? So he investigates, and sure enough, what they find is a little glint of gold. And the rain had moved, and their movement of it had put a little crack in the clay. So they uncovered the whole thing. So this is, for me, in my writing, and perhaps for you in your reading and your experience of life, we can celebrate the crack. We can be trigger happy. And not because we want to feel bad, because we're going to feel better if we consciously, courageously, intentionally say, okay, I'm open to that. Yeah, what is that? I'm open to feeling that. I want to feel it. I want to feel it all. Because if I can feel this, then I can feel everything else so much more. So if we consciously let the trigger in, let the crack open, discover what's inside, here's what can happen. The most beautiful thing. And now we'll go from Thailand to Japan, because they have an amazing word and concept there called kintsugi. What is it? It's an art that it's an art and it's a philosophy. When a piece of pottery cracks, they don't discard it. Instead, they put it back together. How do they do that? They use glue. And this is so cool. They mix gold into the glue so that when the piece is put back together, what was broken is now golden. Those seams become gold. And the piece, which was broken, which from a Western perspective, we might think, well, it's broken, no good, get rid of it. Nobody's broken. Nothing is broken. And so the metaphor of the kintsugi for us is when we let the energy in, we let the crack, we appreciate it, we allow the feeling to come up, which is what we might call the broken part, a non-resourceful thought, an old belief about the world that produces pain for us. Then we could say, okay, let's repair that. Let's take that thing that happened when I was 8, or that rough breakup when I was 25, or whatever it was, whatever the pain is there, let's allow that to come up and let's repair it. That's what the gold, like nectar, like sunshine coming in, that's the healing. And when we repair, we become anti-fragile, which means not just resilient, not like I can take a beating and keep coming. Well, that's cool. Even better, those things that happen that are challenging, that are hard, that hurt, if I intentionally use them, I become anti-fragile. It means I get stronger. I get more beautiful because of those things. Are you with me? How many of you have ever had a feeling of, ouch, this hurts. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to feel it. It's easy to do. I'd rather watch TV, use some substance, avoid that person. I don't want to talk to them. Quit that job. And I'm not saying that any of those things are bad. It's why. Why are we doing that? Last part for you. The result for you, for us, when we have the courage to do that, to feel intentionally, is we become golden. We become our true nature, which is the golden Buddha. Right? Infinitely valuable and lovable. That's who we are. That's our nature. That's what's really there. And how that changes the outer world is because when we become more golden, radiant, alive, exciting, we are more valuable. It increases our income. We become more attractive. We literally, right? Which would you rather buy, a clay Buddha or a gold Buddha? Of course, there's a reason that gold is so valuable, and there's a reason that it's such a metaphor for us. So not only do we become more alive, free, I don't have to avoid that thing anymore. I'm free. They could say that thing. I'm unoffendable. Somebody can be mean to me. Okay. And if I'm not defensive, I'm like, oh, I can't take that. I go, oh, what's going on with them? It doesn't mean I necessarily want to hang out with them. I can feel, though, sympathy. And maybe from that place, it allows something to happen for them, too. When you let the gold out, you are more valuable. The world recognizes the true you. I hope, y'all, that this video feels like it's a blessing, that there's a crack for you in hearing this, and this comes in a way that helps you reconnect to the truth of who you are. Freedom, love, and vibrancy. You deserve to make your life a masterpiece. I love you. I'll see you on the next video.